Welcome to today's Sports Live. Oh, we're live here. Okay.
It's our first hockey show.
We're talking college football today.
This edition of Baseball Today.
Football Today back here.
Welcome back to basketball today.
Got the double box. Bring it on, baby.
This is giving me Russell Westbrook vibes.
I'm too strong. I'm just too strong.
Well, there goes the encyclopedia.
Him and Rihanna would create like a mega mind type.
We
He put
really
this
good.
decision on a coin flip, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Ginzer City. Ginzer City.
More
We
perfect that we
all
brought
have
that today.
computers in front of us.
All right, and that is why we skip hooping. Yeah.
The spitting image of Cooper Cup. Ricky Patalco about to lose his mind.
Kadarius Toney, Ni Hao, you better start learning Chinese.
We got two Rangers fans here, so
No.
What is up today, sports? Welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Lily, alongside Kate, Gemma, and Kylie. Guys, we have a big show coming up. Today. Let's just get right into it. Who's excited?
Very excited.
I'm nervous.
Very excited.
I'm nervous. Why are you nervous?
Gemma,
Weekend. It's
Gemma
like,
and I have been, every single show we've been on, we have brought up the Michigan game. Like, this is what we've been waiting
This is
for.
what we're waiting for. I don't think we can play worse than what we did in Columbus.
I don't think so either.
I don't
It
know.
was bad.
I
It was
mean, you
bad.
can always go worse. But I've seen that before. But I was very confident in this game. Not very confident. I was excited. Within like the last 12 hours, nerves have set in.
Yeah.
Same.
It's gotten real.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
I've been seeing Michigan Hate Week stuff going
Yeah.
on. But let's just get right into it. What do we think about if we win? What will this do for Franklin's legacy?
He is known for not being able to win big games.
That's
That's
true.
a fact.
That's true. That is a fact.
So I think this will just show that he's going to become an elite coach. This happened in 2016. He won those big games in 2016, and then
Won the
not
Big Ten.
really much has happened. Like, okay, we beat Utah. Okay,
I think even worse, they've been in position to win those games
And
and they
we
haven't.
blew it.
And
We
they
blew it every single time.
2017, 2018, 2022. It's terrible.
It's bad. It's very
I just think, what I've been seeing this week and hearing a lot is, who has Michigan really played?
Nobody.
And that was
No
us.
one.
That was us going into Ohio State. And it was, the rudest awakening ever.
Yeah.
And, I'm still, mad at him from that game. So this, I think, would definitely help him. But at the same time, I'm also you have to look at that. Who have they played?
because we need to change the narrative. Okay,
No,
every
we
year
do. It's
Penn State
annoying.
loses to Ohio State and Michigan every single year. I'm done.
I'm over it. I'm over it.
This is the stakes are higher. This is the last time we'll play Michigan in a regular season for
Yeah.
the next 3-4 years.
Yeah.
This is a crucial game.
And
This
this
is a crucial
game, don't get me wrong, Rutgers having a good year, Michigan
Mhm.
State's whatever, so they can totally lose those games.
Yeah.
This game, if you win this game, you're pretty much in the play. You're
Exactly.
in the.
Yeah.
I think they have the
If
tiebreaker
it's
for the Big
a
Ten
three, if it's
championship.
a
Yeah, they
three-way
do.
tie,
They do.
we
So
win
they
the
currently
tie.
have the tiebreaker, so that gets you in the Big Ten championship. You should beat whoever's in the West. If you win this
100%,
game,
yeah.
it might be a ticket to
And
the ball.
Iowa's winning. Northwestern's winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all these games are helping us. So I hope Drew, Keandre Liver-Smith, I hope you know how much this
Dante
game
Cephas.
is.
Dante Cephas.
I hope you guys know how much this game is because you win this game, you're going to the Big Ten championship.
Yeah.
And we're going to see that podium out on Ford Field.
And is it?
It's Ford Field in Michigan State.
Yes, because the East.
podium
Yes. Okay. Yeah,
comes.
you're right.
Well, speaking of other great games going on this week, Washington versus Utah and Georgia versus Mississippi. What do you guys think?
I'm nervous. I'm
I'm
nervous for this game
nervous.
because I need Utah to win. I need USC to win. That might not happen, but they fired their defensive coach, so maybe that
Yeah,
will happen.
yeah, it
I need
does.
Ole Miss to win. I need all these teams to
I
win. I
know.
need upsets this week.
I need Penn
Yes.
State to win this week.
I
I
need
need
Penn State to
Penn
win this
State
week.
to win,
Yeah.
but I need upsets to happen in the top 10.
I think Ole Miss,
They're
I'm
on
excited to
one
see that
loss
game.
is what to Alabama. Their
Yeah.
one
Yeah,
loss is to
it's
Alabama.
I don't know. I don't think Georgia's as strong as they have been in past years, obviously. But Ole Miss just doesn't do it for me. Ole Miss is that team. I don't even know who I can relate them to because I think they're just fake every year.
Yeah.
I like Ole Miss. I want them to win, but they're not
They
there.
start off good.
Yeah.
They start with high hopes and then they go 8-4.
I
Yeah.
get that though. I feel like they're not real. I don't really know
They're
what
not.
Ole Miss ever is
Yes.
as a football team.
I'm they're above us in the rankings.
Yeah.
Is that real?
I don't think they're going into Georgia. They're going into Georgia. I don't think they're
you
going to
never
win.
know what's gonna happen.
It's
You
gonna be
don't- never
a
know.
good game though, as far as that
Hopefully.
Southern.
I don't want it to
like-
be a blowout.
I don't think
I
it
want it to
will
be a good
be.
game.
Me too.
Like
I
the
think-
LSU Bama game, that was a very good game.
That was a good
until-
game, and then till the lights fell off.
Yeah, that was.
I just think with Washington, this is their make or break week.
Agreed.
You either get through it or you don't. Because now it's all Heisman, Michael Penix
Yeah.
Jr. You either are gonna win or
Mhm.
you're gonna downfall
even
from
though
here.
they beat Oregon, Oregon was still very much in that game. The,
Oh,
the
yeah.
game could have
That
gone
was
either
a very
way.
good game.
I think Oregon's better.
I
than
think
Washington.
Oregon's better. I mean,
Yeah.
they literally lost the game over a missed field goal, pretty
Yep.
much. But I really hope Utah, even though they don't have Cam Rising, they still show that they can win without him.
Yeah,
they
they're
can
a good
still win
team.
without him.
They're still a good team. So, you know,
Will
I'm
they
rooting
win?
for all those underdogs this week.
Who's USC's playing Oregon?
Yeah. I
Okay,
need
so that's
USC.
the most likely upset
Yeah.
Yes.
by far.
I agree.
And then I think Utah is probably second. And then
I mean,
don't
USC
think
was
Ole
in
Miss
that
is.
game against Washington.
Yeah, they could have won.
They could have won that game.
Caleb
They just
Williams
have
was
the
crying
worst-
afterwards.
I know.
as
Oh
well.
my
That
God.
was so sad to
I
see.
Their
can't even,
defense,
I can't even talk about
their
Caleb Williams, though.
defense, like, ugh,
Well,
makes me
speaking
nauseous.
of college football, slowly closing, bowl season's coming up.
Whew.
So I want you to give me your favorite bowl game and
Mm.
all time and why it's the best bowl game. So, Gemma, do you want to take it away?
Okay, this might not be the best bowl game, but this is like when they'll say we're doing the segment, this is the one I automatically thought of, which actually happened last year. USC Tulane. Tulane was down by 14 with 5 minutes left. The commentators are like, oh, you know, USC is coming back. You know, they're building this program. They're basically talking that they're going to win. And then you just had miscues by USC getting
at
a
this guy.
safety. I'm pretty sure Tulane scored in
This
2
guy's
plays.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
scored in 2 plays, and then USC got a safety. And then the
They're down
touchdown.
15. Down 15
Oh, they're down by
points.
15.
Even worse.
Even better. They score, I think, 2 plays. They get a touchdown that was called, like, it wasn't a touchdown, and then they reversed it.
Yeah.
Like, this was such a good game, and it was such good vibes because we were playing in the Rose Bowl that day. So, you know, I was
in good
in
spirits that
I
day.
was in good
This,
spirits
is,
that day.
this was probably the best bowl game last year.
Yes, I
by
agree.
far. I was talking to you earlier. I left my house because I thought this game was
Oh,
over.
I thought this game was
and
over.
I checked the score and I was like, what is
We were
going on?
playing the broadcast in the car
Yeah.
on the way to wherever we were going to watch the Rose Bowl.
Didn't Tulane score with like under like 30 seconds left
Yeah,
too or
they
something
did.
like that? It was
And
like
then,
fourth and
USC
like
tried to do
15.
like a, it was 4th and 15.
Yeah, it
and
was
then
something crazy.
I think like the QB ran it for a first down. Like
Yeah.
he ran the ball a lot during that like last few drives. But you know what? I love Tulane because they're such an underdog.
That's-
And I hate
I
Lincoln
love that,
Riley
yeah.
so much. And I hate Caleb Williams. So I love when USC loses. But I just thought this was such a good bowl game.
Yeah, that's a good
I mean,
pick.
like, what
That-
is
I
what
would do
is
that.
What
How do you
is
do that?
That's
that
really
happens?
bad.
I love a good safety. Like, this was awesome.
Question from the comment section. Was that game better than the Ohio State Georgia playoff game?
I was considering that one.
No.
I actually should have put that game because the clock's right at midnight. Turn it back.
But
and we
this is
missed
like,
it.
like
Yes,
playoff
that
games
was
I
the
feel like
whole
are
thing.
different.
Playoff
Like
games
playoff
are-
games are their own
because
thing.
Tulane, like they were such an underdog. At least for Ohio State, Georgia, anyone could have took it. Like no one
Yeah.
thought Tulane was gonna win.
No.
You
But
know what
that
I mean?
whole, like, midnight, like that was
That was pretty crazy.
I knew this year was gonna be a good year because Ohio State lost going into 2023.
going into 2023.
Yeah, but this was my pick for best bowl game, just
That was a good
because
one.
they had such a good comeback in like 5 minutes.
All right,
Love an
let's see
underdog.
what's next.
I also went the Cotton Bowl. This game, I believe
This
it was
was a good
20, the
one.
2015 Cotton Bowl. Baylor was up 20, or Michigan State scored 21 points in the fourth quarter in this game.
That's
This
crazy.
game was insane. Bryce Petty, Connor Cook, I believe was the quarterback still at Michigan State. I think Michigan State went on to win or make the playoff the next year. I believe this kick gets blocked. And if you watch it, it's either the kicker or the placeholder gets like absolutely blown up. I think it's number 40. But anyway, like, hold on. I just want to see if this is right.
Oh my God.
Watch number 40. The kicker. This game was unbelievable. I remember watching this. I don't even know how old I was, like 13, maybe 14 years old. This is just like when I think of college
Wow.
football, the scoreboard. I love that old ESPN
I
scoreboard.
miss that scoreboard.
Oh, this is just college football for
That
me.
was
Because
When
I
think
didn't
bowl
recognize
games.
40. I didn't recognize 40 falling until
Yeah,
you
he
showed
got
that
blown
today.
up. What
That
a
was-
game.
wow.
Baylor was always fun in those days. High scoring offense. Michigan State was actually good. Although I also do want to say another game, Utah, Ohio State, the Rose Bowl.
That was
that was
so
good.
That was
That game
good.
It was
insane.
like almost a
was
similar
back and forth.
situation as us. Like Utah, I thought Utah was going to win, and then Cam
And then
Rising
Rising
got
got
hurt,
hurt.
and then Ohio State just took it.
Yeah.
But Cotton Bowls are always good. Like
They're
even,
always good.
even though we
Yes.
played Memphis, like
Great
that
game.
was a
high
great
scoring back and
game.
forth. Yeah.
That was a great game, and that kicker, Memphis's kicker, he didn't miss. Like he went like 8 for 8 in field goals and extra points.
Yeah. Great
That could
game.
be a-
But yeah,
that's
I don't
fine.
know.
All right,
Reminds
Kai,
me
what's
of-
your pick?
When I was younger, I guess.
I have Michigan and
Such-
That's a
TC,
good one.
especially just because like Michigan Hate Week. So I thought
Yeah.
I'd bring
Yeah,
this
it was
one
a good
back.
game.
'Cause This
Good
was
one.
last year. This was like That is a high scoring bowl
No
game.
defense.
That
at
is
all.
like-
Michigan was losing by a lot.
No,
Weren't
they
It was like a
were.
two-score.
They
I think it was like a
were.
two-score
And then
game at one point.
TCU like came out that second half and they were like, we're getting beat up, but like we don't
Mhm.
care. And Max Duggan and Quentin Johnson, like that's the other. They weren't an underdog last year, but like when was the
I
last
didn't
time you
expect them
saw
to win.
TCU?
I didn't expect
Like,
them to
I
win.
didn't expect them to win that
That
game.
was
at all.
such an
just-
entertaining game to watch.
It was.
Yeah.
I love a good
So,
underdog.
Both playoff games that night
Both
were
playoff games are
Yeah.
amazing.
awesome.
And then we watched the
And
worst
I mean, look at
championship
those
of all
Michigan
time.
fans. Like, I just love seeing them upset.
Yeah.
It makes my
And they were
heart
mad too.
happy.
They were blaming this game on the refs. Remember, like that
Yes,
thing where
yes,
he's down at
yes,
the one.
Yes,
and
yes,
it's like,
yes.
okay, you're down at the one. Don't fumble the ball
Yeah.
on the 1
And
yard.
it wasn't there like a potential like targeting
Uh-huh.
flag
Yes.
too? Yeah.
They lost.
But
They
I
lost.
actually posted like it's a great day because Michigan's gonna lose, and then they were coming back to win. I'm like, oh, I need to delete this right
They-
now
they
because
did.
they were actually
It was
won.
scary there for a
My
second.
my mom doesn't last through football games. I remember sitting on the couch with her last year. She's like, "This is a good game, Kylie," and I was like,
I
"Yes,
think I like
it
stopped
is."
watching during New Year's Eve. I'm like, oh, TCU's gonna win, and I look at the score, but I'm like, they're down by 6. Like, are you kidding me right now?
Both games last year.
That's
were
just
great.
that's
So
the energy
good.
we're
That was
bringing
really
this
good.
weekend. That's how Michigan's gonna feel this
Yeah.
weekend.
Penn State's gonna put up 51 this weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, just like
Back-to-back
last
weeks.
weekend. Yep,
Yep.
exactly.
All right, we're gonna move on to our next segment. We're talking about Heisman, guys. So I think you all have picked your top 4 Heisman potential winners.
Yeah.
Four is a lot.
Let's
like
get
four
going.
is-
I think Gemma, you're first, right?
Okay, this was really hard. I had to do some research for this because this is a tight race. This is
It is.
everyone's like neck and neck. I don't know who's
It
going
goes
to take
back
the
and
cake.
forth every week.
I think it's going to depend on what team does better. I think that has a say in it. But
no.
number 4, this was really
hard.
This was
That's hard.
really hard.
I
for
mean,
me
he
to
beat
put.
Penn State by himself.
Yeah.
pretty much.
This kid, when Ohio State needs to make a play, they go to this guy right here, and let me tell you, he catches everything. He catches everything, and he's a really big dude too. Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, I got to give credit where credit's due. He's a really good player. He's going to go top 3,
Probably the
top
best
5
non- Probably
picks.
the best non-quarterback.
He's the
Very
best
good.
non-quarterback, and you don't really see non-quarterbacks in that Heisman mix. So, and especially a receiver, you see running back. So I got to give Marvin Harrison number 4. I don't think he's going to win. I think he'll get that invite to New York City, though. But let's see my number 3.
Yes.
That's
Jaden
good.
Daniels.
Yes.
I mean, even though that Alabama game, hard to watch.
First half was great.
First half was great. This kid, he runs, he throws. Even though he's lost some really bad games this year, like Florida State, I
Yeah.
mean, he is really good. He is really good. He was really good last year. I mean, he could have beat Alabama. He could have been that first quarterback to beat them 2 consecutive years in a row, but he just didn't do it. I mean, he's a really good player, and he's a second-year starter, I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
I
Good
mean,
for him.
he's made
At
himself
LSU,
known after his first year of starting. So I don't think he's going to win. I don't think he's going to win just because LSU is not that top contender. But I think he'll get that invite to New York City, or maybe he won't. But I think Marvin Harrison's going to get that invite over him. But number 2 and number 1, really tough, really tough. Bo Nix. This kid has made a turnaround since being at Auburn.
I thought he was I thought he was the worst quarterback I've ever
He
seen.
was
at Auburn.
horrible at Auburn. He played a really good game against us at Auburn, though. That made me nervous 2021. Made me nervous 2021.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, even though he lost to Washington, like I said, close game, could have gone either way. He is like blown out almost every single team that they
he
played.
has.
And him and Drew, got to give a little shout out to my boyfriend Drew. They both went a couple games without having no interceptions, and I don't think he's had that. First 4 games. He's an accurate quarterback. I mean, he's turned this Oregon program around since Justin Herbert was there, and they weren't really that good with Justin Herbert. I mean, Oregon has proved themselves that they can be a playoff contender, and if they win out and the cards go their way, they really could make the playoffs if people ahead of them lose, which, Michigan's losing this weekend, and I hope Ohio State loses in a couple weeks. But I honestly would love to see Oregon in the playoff mix. I don't want to see Georgia. I don't want to see Ohio State. It's the same teams over and over again. I would love to see Oregon and Washington in another matchup in the playoffs
that's a
again.
good
That would
one.
be a really good game.
Make a very good point with that. Very
Right?
good point with
I
that.
feel like Oregon could win that
They're
one.
going to play in the Pac-12 probably.
Oh,
Pac-12
probably,
championship.
yeah. Michael Penix Jr. Let's be real. He was awful at Indiana. Even though he beat us in that wasn't
That was
a
a Mickey
touchdown.
Mouse year.
Guys,
That was
that
a
wasn't
Mickey
a
Mouse
touchdown.
year.
I don't count the COVID year.
2020 doesn't
But
count.
Michael Penix is so good after tearing his ACL. He's made such a good comeback. I mean, going to Washington might have been the best decision he's ever made because you're going nowhere going to Indiana.
Yeah.
You're going
Not-
nowhere
not
going
wrong.
there. The Big
Yeah.
Ten, you're either a really good or you're actually horrible. But Michael Penix Jr. is awesome. He's been winning these games. That USC win, that Oregon win, awesome resume booster to win the Heisman. I think he's going to win the Heisman. I don't see why he wouldn't win the Heisman. Even if they don't make the playoff, Caleb Williams won, they didn't make the playoff. I think he could actually win. I think he can win out. And just him getting emotional with his family, like, really made my heart warm.
Yes.
I
yeah.
love him. I used to not like him because he went to Indiana. I don't like him. But now I do like him. And I actually hope they win. Not this weekend, though. But I do hope they win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like quarterbacks showing emotion. Caleb Williams showed emotion.
Yeah, with his
Penix
ass.
showed emotion. Aller showed
That was
emotion.
really sad.
I like
Ooh,
quarterbacks.
don't get me started on
showing
Aller showing
emotion.
emotion. That made me
All
cry.
right, Kate, let's
That
see
was
it.
great. Speaking of Drew Aller,
Woo!
number 4.
Yes!
Listen. This Drew's been playing great. Don't get me wrong.
Hot
This
take.
is more so of
Hot take.
degrading JJ McCarthy. Drew Aller has more total touchdowns than JJ McCarthy. Drew Aller basically has the same total yards as JJ McCarthy. And if JJ McCarthy in betting odds is top 4, top 5, and Drew Aller's not even top 10, what are we doing here?
Okay,
What
don't
are we
forget,
doing?
one interception.
One
interception.
JJ McCarthy, how many interceptions? 3. Drew Aller, 1. Also, you're going to beat JJ McCarthy this week, too. Number
That's
3
right.
is going to be Ollie Gordon.
Ooh, hot
Oklahoma
take.
State,
Big Oklahoma State fan.
6-2, 7-2. I don't know the record, but they upset top 10 Oklahoma this week. They're on a roll. Probably one of the hottest teams in the country, if we're being real. Leading rusher in the nation, Ollie Gordon. Best running back in the nation? Probably not Blake Corum. He's
No.
number 3. Number 2, it is going to be Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
This
Percent.
guy, like I
I couldn't
said,
do it. I
best
couldn't bring myself to do it.
non-quarterback in the country. He wins his team's games. Kyle McCord, he's an average quarterback at best. Let's be real. Let's be honest. He goes into Wisconsin, can barely win. He needs this guy to bail him out. Penn State, he needed this guy to bail him out. The difference in Penn State, Ohio State that game, Marvin Harrison Jr. He is number 2, best non-quarterback in the country. He's only going to keep putting up numbers. He's going to lead them to more wins because that's just, he has to. Number 1, I kind of forgot about Michael Penix Jr. I'm going to be honest.
Hot
Bo
takes.
Nix.
I like that,
I
though.
think the
I
whole
like that,
point.
though.
I think the whole point. I think Oregon beats Washington in a rematch.
I
think
agree.
Oregon is the best team in the Pac-12. I think they're better than Washington.
I agree.
And Bo Nix has been overall more consistent. Penix, obviously, you're going to have that when he throws the ball deep, when he throws the ball a lot. He's going to have more interceptions. Bo Nix, I was a Bo Nix hater, noted Bo Nix hater. I thought he was a fraud at Auburn. He was tabbed like the golden child for some reason. I don't know why. But at Oregon, I think he's going to win the Heisman this year. Yeah.
I mean, he should. He's like 20. He's like 26.
He
He's
is
already
like
married.
26.
He's already married.
Is he married?
Yes, he is married.
Oh, my God.
He got
I
married
didn't
like
know that.
last summer.
All right,
That's
Kylie,
crazy.
let's see
Okay,
it.
we're gonna get some repeats here, but like,
Hey,
That's
you know
fair.
what?
not everyone's
okay.
not everyone's good at football, so
Yeah, no,
I don't know
that's-
what you want from me.
That's true.
Okay, here we go. All right, this is
Ooh,
different.
that's
This
a
is
different
for you,
one.
Travis. Okay, not the best. Like I will come out and say that he's
Yeah.
not the best, but like the grit and the wanting to be there. And the past couple games, he's had 2 of his like star receivers out. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
His teammates out there on the field are what matters in the moment, and he makes them matter. And I think when you're looking at a Heisman, you need to look at everything, not just like, oh, he had this many yards, like he threw this many interceptions. So
Is that a slight against me?
no, I'm just
Okay.
saying,
Okay,
like
just
you
making
gotta
sure.
look at the
Just
big
making sure.
picture here.
Just make sure.
So I threw him up there, 4 was kind of my 3 are better, I think.
Mhm.
I'm very okay. All right, I put
Yep,
Bo Nix
okay.
at 3 just because I'm still like waiting to kind of see
It's
how
gonna
he does
come.
this week. It's gonna come,
gonna
but I'm
come.
like, I'm waiting for it.
This week
Um,
especially.
Exactly. And I mean, like Kate said, people really do not like him.
Oh, I
So
hate
I'm
him
kind of like, go. Good for you. Like I want to see it. But yeah, I think I just need a little bit more to like really be on the
That's
Bo
fair.
Nix bandwagon.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gemma.
Yep.
Repeat.
I hear you. I hear you. I see you.
The comebacks are like what always gets me, good in the heart. But I just think he's been working and working and working, and not everything at the beginning of the season was great. But like Gemma said, he's second-year starter. He's coming up. He's doing what he needs to do. And I don't think he's going to win it this year, but I think if he keeps building on what he has with his program and with his team, he could really take a big step by the end of this season and into next year. And last but not least, my
Yep,
winner.
Penix Jr.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
just love him. Like, I love a different story. Yes, it would have been so cool to see Caleb Williams win back-to-back, but, like, this is different. When do you ever hear about Washington football?
Very rare.
You never
Very rare.
really do. So I really like this. And, the sentimental moments he has. And like I said, though, this weekend is, like, very make or break for Washington, I feel like. So I don't think it's going to hurt him that much, but I do want to see, you know, that next level bump. But that's my winner.
Great
Yeah.
picks,
Not
guys.
a bad
great,
list.
great
I think we
picks.
all had very similar.
We all did.
You all
opinions.
did, and I think
You
that
did.
shows how great.
I mean, there's
these
only
people
so
are
many
doing.
people like that you
Yeah.
can pick
There's
from.
realistically, there's only like 5 or 6 guys
Don't-
that are
don't
like
get me
going.
wrong.
And I don't even think realistically, I don't think Drew is. But I just had to throw him
Don't
in there
get me
because
wrong,
JJ
like,
I mean,
is like,
are we forgetting Drew's a first-year starter?
yeah.
Yeah.
19 years old.
I mean, it took me about 20 minutes like not put Sam Hartman in there. I wanted to do it so bad
He's
just
been
for my
bad.
After
He's
this
been
week,
bad.
after this
this
past
weekend,
weekend,
Yeah, no.
he was so bad, and it
Yeah.
really
So
broke my
bad.
heart. It really like
so bad.
it was a really rough weekend for me.
All right, let's move on to our next segment. What's better? Now, I want you guys to give me everything you got.
Okay.
This or that. I want banter. I want everything. Let's see what our first what's better
Banter.
is. We got the Rose Bowl, or we got a college football playoff loss.
Okay. Personally, I don't know.
Okay, here's the thing. So
I'm
you're-
in between.
So
I'm
here's
in
the
between.
here's the big thing. Everybody says James Franklin can't win the big one. James Franklin this, James Franklin that. That's what James Franklin does. This is what you're mad at him for not doing.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's the college football playoff loss.
I think, but also I'm looking at the following year. You're good if you win the Rose Bowl, you're gonna start out pretty good rankings.
Mhm.
If you're in the
I mean,
playoff though, you're
I
probably
know, but
top
if you
7,
lose,
top 6.
I know, I don't know. But like personally for me, if we go to the playoff, I'm going to that game. I'm buying
Yeah.
a ticket, I'm going to that game.
Yeah.
We lose.
But making the
Yeah.
playoff is like look at Michigan. They made the playoff 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And now they're like all now because before 2 years ago they were like us. They were not us. They were Penn State.
Yeah.
Like so they make the playoff and now all of a sudden people view them as this top premier program just because they made one playoff.
I
Then they
know.
get another. I think
Yeah.
making the playoff sets you up and just takes you to the next
Okay,
tier,
but
the
I'm
next
thinking
level.
I'm being selfish. I'm thinking of myself. Like I went to
We
the
just
Ohio
won the
State game.
Rose Bowl, though.
Going to the Ohio State game, I'm traumatized. I'm never going to Columbus ever
I
again
wasn't
because I'm
sure if you were
I-
gonna come back.
Oh,
Yeah.
guys, I'm so traumatized. You know how many fights I got in Ohio? Random Ohio State fans would come to me after the game. Are you doing okay? Don't touch me, please.
Oh. I would be like, get
I
out of me.
just think like within society and the way it works, everyone's like, yeah, like we won the Rose Bowl, like that's so cool. People don't understand like college football playoffs are not
Yes, it's
Like
not
that-
an everyday
it's
thing.
not-
Yeah.
and people are like, well, we didn't make the playoffs. And I'm like, but you still won a bowl game.
I would.
Like I
Michigan-
don't get what
Bowl game,
people
though.
don't
Michigan technically
understand
hasn't won a
about
bowl
that.
game in like over 5
That's
years,
my
but they're
point.
making the playoff.
Yeah.
Like here's my thing. Everybody is mad. Like Ben Wasserman says that James Franklin should be on the hot seat, but that's what he does. He goes to the Rose Bowl. He wins New Year's 6 bowl
Yeah,
games.
exactly.
This is what they want him to do. They want him to make the
And
playoff.
if he lost that playoff game,
Like,
oh my
what-
God.
I'd be fine
Since,
with
since
it.
James Franklin's been like what a head coach, he's lost what 3 or 4 bowl games. He lost 2021,
2016, 117, lost 18.
It's every other year. It's every other year.
119,
Kate knows it all.
It
21,
lost every.
so
He
4.
loses every other year.
Hopefully not
Don't
this year.
jinx it, Gemma. Don't
I-
jinx it.
If we're actually being, like, statistically,
look
we're
at
losing our bowl
Budape-
game
look
this
at her
year.
up there. Like she's just loving her
Wow.
life right now.
No, we're gonna lose our bowl game because how every year goes is the pattern. This
If
is
it's
our off
if it's
year.
a playoff game, I'll
Oh,
take
no.
it. If it's a playoff
I
game,
want to
I'll
lose a
take it.
playoff game close. I don't want to get blown
No,
out
I
and be
don't
like,
either.
you guys
That
deserve
one.
not to be there. I want to be
I
like,
get that.
I want to. I don't care if we lose by a field goal. I don't care if we lose by a touchdown. I want it to be close because be like, okay, we could have won. I don't
That's
want to get a
fair.
blowout.
I want
so
it to be the game.
painful though.
It's like I'm gonna cry. I'm a crier when we lose Penn State games. I'm a crier. I'll admit that.
like, and then when people are like coming at you,
And then
you're
the
just like,
comments.
okay,
you know, my
comments are
comments I'm
horrible.
gonna
I
get.
hate the comments.
It's like my friends are Ohio State fans. I was staying with, and I go, guys. I walked in. I go, please, no comments right now.
They
I
got
can't deal with
6 different messages. Shout out to Allie Merrick if she's watching this. She was like, so, what happened?
Oh,
What happened?
it was
That's
really
the
hard.
It was really hard.
My family friends from Ohio State all texted me in all capitals, Ohio.
We were supposed
and
to
I
say.
was like, okay,
No, I know.
your team sucked today too.
we were
they
supposed.
were
to,
not that
We
good.
were supposed to say Saturday night. We packed up and left.
I would.
Came home at midnight, still in game day outfits. I cried on the way home, and I was on the phone with my dad for an hour, just saying everything that we did bad. This really traumatized me. And
I lived
Ohio
in bed
State
for
fans
4
are so
hours.
mean. They're
Gemma
so
will never go back
mean.
to Columbus
I'm never
again.
going back
Okay,
to
to be
Columbus.
fair, if there's Ohio State fans were in the student section last year, and like we literally kicked them out. So
Yeah,
it's like
good.
it's the same everywhere.
No, but it was grown men.
That's weird.
But I put up a fight, guys.
That's
I hope
weird.
you guys know I put up a
Yes,
fight.
Gemma.
I go,
Yes.
have fun losing Michigan again.
And or no, not us.
I don't care. Listen,
Wait,
I
I
hate
forgot that
Michigan.
happened
I
already.
hate Michigan, but I want Michigan to beat Ohio State. I don't care.
Like,
I will
I
be
think
cheering Michigan
Ohio
on
State
that
fans
day.
are more disrespectful than
They
Michigan
are.
fans. They're nasty. And Columbus is a horrible town. It's a horrible city.
It's the ghetto.
It really is. I don't like it. I really don't like it.
We're
And Ohio
safe.
State campus is so boring. I don't like it either. Sorry, I have to just get that out.
All right, we're moving on to our next one. Alabama or Oregon this year?
Ooh.
Alabama's
know.
been playing better.
I think Bama might win the national championship this year.
Bama's had better wins. Like Oregon's best win. Well, actually, they didn't even beat.
Oregon hasn't.
Actually,
had a
Oregon
great
has
win.
that. They don't actually.
Who'd they play?
Colorado.
Okay.
Colorado stinks.
Looking at Colorado now,
Colorado
who cares?
stinks.
Yeah.
Can we talk,
Bama's
like, we
beating
need to
LSU.
talk
Bama's
about
beating
that
Ole
one,
Miss.
guys.
Bama, their losses to Texas is a top 10 team.
Yeah.
I think Bama's going to win the national championship. So I'm going to Alabama.
Nick Saban just like makes my skin.
I can't
itch.
talk about
Wait,
Nick
I
Saban.
like
Also
Nick
gives me, like,
Saban.
I like him, but like that whole thing last weekend where that player that left Alabama and he goes up to him and he's like,
That was
"You would have had more
disrespectful.
playing time
Oh,
here."
yeah.
I was like,
That's
let him
crazy to say
leave.
that. That's
You let
crazy to
him
say
leave.
that.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
kind of is.
I like him sometimes, but other times he really hits a nerve because I'm like, okay, you're a millionaire,
wins.
like your
I mean,
life's great.
just don't
and all,
like
but,
him.
like,
In the
you
beginning of
need to
this
be
year, we're
normal.
writing Alabama off, being like, oh, they're not a huge dynasty anymore. But they're
I've
winning.
said it
They're
always
winning.
going to be.
They're winning.
I
They're
said
always
Oklahoma
going
State's
to
the
be.
hottest team. Bama's probably the best
Bama's-
team right now.
And Milrose been playing. He's a
Yeah.
different player.
They
than he
should have
was a
never
month
benched
ago.
him. I don't know why they
No.
benched him for like I think he threw like 3 touchdowns and he had like
He's
one
hot
bad
right now
pick
too.
against
He's
Texas, and
hot.
they
He's
benched
like
him.
in the zone
Yes.
now.
And they're finally using his legs too.
Yeah.
I think Bama's
He's
Bama.
a good
I
runner.
it would just be cool to see someone else.
I know it's been.
But
the
we
same
haven't
thing
seen
over and
Alabama in the playoff in a couple years.
No, we haven't. They always, at least like Clemson's not in it anymore.
And Oregon's been
That's
up
fine.
there. Like Oregon's not like this like team that's got like they've made the
No.
playoff
No,
before.
exactly.
They've
I
been
also
around
think
it.
it's very much like a USC thing. Like you have Caleb Williams, you have Bo Nix. What else are those teams?
Right.
Like what else are they bringing to the table
Right.
that's gonna put them like as a
Exactly.
national champion?
I think Oregon's a good team. I don't think they're good enough
No.
to
I
win
don't
the
think
national
they're better than
championship.
Alabama.
I don't think they're bad. I think
As a
Alabama's
team, they're
too
not
hot right now.
better. No.
Oregon, they need that. They don't have that resume booster.
That's a good point to say. All right, let's do our next topic: Big Ten or SEC. Now, this can be this year, SEC.
Sorry.
This year, and then overall. I don't know. I'm on the fence with
it's
this one.
the SEC.
SEC,
Top
yeah.
to bottom, the
Yeah.
SEC is just way better.
Mm-hmm.
In the future, it's the Big Ten.
Big Ten
Yeah.
because of everyone who's coming
Yeah.
in. I think the Big Ten East is really hard, just because you
Ooh.
have it's the same.
Is the
three
Big Ten
competitors.
East better? Is the Big Ten East better than SEC West? LSU, Bama, Ole Miss, A&M.
And like
I think the top 3 are better than SEC West. Top
I
3.
agree. I agree.
But I
because-
think overall conference
Because the Big Ten
the
East,
Big
you
Ten
got
West.
3 teams
Yeah.
in the top 10.
10, yeah.
I think both of them have like their ups and
Well,
downs.
you had Iowa in the top 25 this year. Maryland was undefeated. Rutgers was had one. I mean,
I just feel like
it
when you
depends.
see the SEC, like when I think of college football, not to be like this, but I think like Alabama,
Southern,
Georgia,
yeah.
like those teams.
Yeah.
It just brings like so much. I feel like more is at stake when I watch those games.
It's like I think the Big Ten and the SEC are very similar. You either have really good teams
Mhm.
or you have like horrible teams like Vanderbilt.
Yeah, but Big Ten does too. So.
Big Ten does too. Like, actually, Northwestern's pretty good this year. I'll give them that.
I said SEC.
I'm saying SEC.
I
Like,
think
final
SEC.
answer SEC. Yep.
All right, let's move on to our next segment. That's clipped. After Oklahoma State beating Oklahoma, they brought the goalpost down to.
This is what
They
I'm
got
doing.
the win.
Guys, I can't wait to do this
This
on
is what
Saturday.
we're doing on Saturday. This is awesome. Do we know
this.
if they actually got to order food or did they get kicked out?
If they did, I would have been very impressed.
I don't know, but regardless, I'll
I
carry
love a
it
good
by myself
goalpost.
if I have.
I love
Yeah.
a good goalpost move.
Same.
Like I love it.
Like we're gonna put it in the outdoor pool at Penn State.
Yes.
I can't
That's
wait
a
to
good
do
idea.
this. Yeah.
When Tennessee did it to Alabama
that was
last
Like,
year,
it was so embarrassing. Like they lost the next weekend or the weekend after
Yeah.
that.
and they
to
lost
South
so
Carolina.
They
much
lost so
They
bad.
lost
Yeah.
so much money for doing
Yeah,
that.
but we
too.
don't get
Like,
fined. Big
we
Ten doesn't
don't.
fine
We
guys,
don't.
so we
Do
can
they
rush the
fine
field.
for rushing the field? No, right?
No, only SEC. Yeah.
okay, so
They might
it's
find us for taking the goalpost down.
Who cares?
Penn State, you take all our money anyway.
James
So
Franklin
you can
can
take
pay
them.
$10
You
a
can
year.
take our you
I
take
know.
all our money anyway.
James Franklin could pay for it, then we can all forgive him.
Oh
It's
yeah,
fine.
Oh, and
we're
look,
giving
this is
too
our
much,
next
James
clip.
Franklin.
Sacramento versus Montana, and after this ball, after punting it
Oh
and
my
it getting
gosh.
further.
How is it still moving?
Right?
That
Wait, that's
Wait, why?
crazy.
That's
How did
That's
it roll that
actually
much?
insane. I mean,
I
the
need to see
wind
a replay
probably,
for
but
this. I
still.
can't.
I mean, that ball.
It-
Did it curve
I
to
don't
the right?
know.
Oh no, it's the camera angle. That's
But it
impressive.
like really rolled like towards the end.
I mean,
That's wind.
there's no way.
The
There's no
last
way.
one.
There's
The
no way
last
you're
one was
fanning
crazy.
a football and it's
Yeah.
moving.
I mean,
Did they get like a? I want to know. Did they get like a safety after this? Like
I mean, they're losing. They're losing by 2 scores in the fourth quarter. So like, this is all just a
Whatever
PR
works.
stunt. But
Whatever you need to do.
No, yeah.
Hey, I give them props for it.
yeah, good for them.
Yeah, good for them.
They
Team
lost,
effort.
probably.
There you go.
And lastly, our W moment of the day. James Madison is now 9-0, and they filed a waiver to be bowl eligible.
They need to get it.
They need
I
to get
want
it.
them to get it.
That rule that like if you go from an FCS team to up to an FBS team and you need like 2-3 years of a grace period,
Yeah.
why?
No, I want
Why?
them
It
to get
is impressive that they were an FCS team and in 2 years they had a good year last year
Oh
too.
yeah, they did.
And they're 9-0 this year, and you're
Yeah.
saying, oh, you're not going to make a bowl game?
Like,
Makes
they're not
no
going to make
sense.
like a New York Six bowl, but
No.
They
they're gonna,
could.
they could.
They could with the
But
group
they
of 6.
could like make like a nice like Outback Bowl or something like that. Like still like a pretty good bowl game
put
that
it
people are
out
going
there.
to
Let
tune
it
into.
go.
Come on, something different. I'm so tired of the same stuff all
Who's
the
the
time.
best group of 6 team right now? I don't even know. It could be them, but they're not allowed to be ranked
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
playoff. I don't know. I think they should get it approved, get to New Year's 6
Well, it
game.
even took them forever to rank them in the AP poll. Like they
Yeah.
literally just
I
got ranked like
agree.
this
They
week or
haven't
last
played
week.
anybody, but still 9-0
But like
against
still,
FBS
9-0.
teams.
That's pretty impressive.
We're not
Like,
9-0. Penn
It's
State's not
exciting to
9-0.
see JMU like
We're
this.
not
I'm very
9-0.
excited. I don't know.
Yeah.
I need to see some new, fresh teams, faces coming in.
right? Yeah.
Need it. So
Good for them. Good
Well,
for them.
Yes,
Yeah,
good
That's
for
the
them.
way to do it
James
right there.
Madison.
And then on that note, that concludes our show. I'm Lily. I'm with Cade, Gemma, and Kylie. This was today's sports, and we'll see you next time.
Let's see what we beat Michigan.
That's
We'll
right,
see
that's
you
right.
online when we take that goalpost down.